Let me just double check to see that is the right whiskey. Yeah. This should be interesting. Oh, Christ. Couldn't get the bloody top off it. How the... Jesus Christ. Oh, we're in. Hello. So I thought what I would do before I chatted a little bit about what we're up to at Ardent Spirits. Oh, puppy's moving. I got sent some whiskey by the Whiskey and Cigar Club, and hadn't actually had a chance to dive into it properly. And in the tasting set was a Nc'Nean. I think it's there. Let's have a wee look. Nc'Nean. It says it's a vatting of red wine and American oak casks. I must admit, I've not tried any Nc'Nean whatsoever. And this was in the under 50 quid a bottle tasting. So if it's any good and it's under 50 quid, new distillery kind of in the Western Highlands, then that is brilliant. Got a nice colour to it. Definitely candied ginger, a load of citrus, kind of creamy lemon cheesecake sort of citrus, bit of bitterness. Well, that's pleasant. So I'm just looking at the notes that were put together on the slides. So it says 46%, maybe chill filtered and coloured. I can't imagine that they would chill filter and colour. I mean, if you can avoid it, then why would you? Would be my question. 46%, so it's probably not chill filtered, and I can't imagine they've coloured it. That is very fresh, very light, lovely sweetness. That is delightful. £49.95. Tell you what, could do worse than that. That is beautiful actually. Super light, sweet. It's amazing what you don't always have to go down that route of super heavily peated, super sherry, loads of red wine influence. I mean, I wouldn't have guessed there's much red wine cask in this whatsoever, which I think these days, well, for me, I think is good. I think things just tend to be overpowered by the wine these days, but that is delicious. I'm gonna sip away at that. But anyway, so how are we getting on with Ardent Spirits, which is a very, very good question. Joking aside, there have been a few hiccups and kind of delays into the bottling. We're going down quite a unique route in terms of what we're doing with the bottle, which I'll let you know as soon as I have my hands on it. But also, I believe in the UK there is a glass paper sort of shortage. Thank you, Brexit. We're just waiting on the finalisation of some packaging. We're not going down the box route initially anyway. I don't personally believe that we need a box. I know some people like the box. For me, I know that whenever I get a whiskey, the bottle comes out the box and the box gets chucked away, and it just seems like a bit of a waste. Both in terms of a waste of paper, a waste of card. Doesn't seem particularly environmentally friendly, getting a load of boxes printed out just to be chucked away again and recycled and stuff. But also saves us a bit of money as well, if I'm being perfectly honest. So kind of win-win, but we're looking at getting some quite cool tissue made, some bespoke tissue made, so it's going to look quite cool. So you can kind of keep it wrapped up in that if you want, or just have the bottle standing nice and proud as well. Also in terms of the bottle, we've changed slightly. We did have a slightly taller bottle. I won't show you, I'll show you when we show you the other bottle. But what we've decided to do is go down, actually, funnily enough, genuinely, did not plan this whatsoever, but going down a similar route to Nc'Nean and using wild glass. So that's recycled glass. So it's going to have maybe a slightly darker tinge to it, maybe a bit of texture to it as well. I think it's going to look really, really cool. And also it's just a little bit better for the environment, recycled glass, all that really, really good stuff. Kind of where I'm at is that if we can make these subtle changes that's gonna be a positive impact on the environment, then why not? You know, if you can, and if it's not too much of an inconvenience, which at the end of the day it's not, then why not? So what is the first bottling going to be? Now, we did kind of try and decide how we're going to do it. We've got a Caol Ila in a PX cask, which for me is really nice. Now, the reason that I pause slightly is because it's not super heavily sherried. I just don't see the point. Why take spirit and put it in something that's going to completely mask all characteristic of that spirit? Caol Ila is such a lovely distillate that there's absolutely no point in doing that. So we've used the PX as a seasoning. So it's got a backbone of kind of datey sweetness, but you're obviously still getting the smoky, citrusy notes of the Caol Ila. That was going to be the plan. But then we remembered that we actually put some Caol Ila aside and we aged it in Scottish rum casks. Okay, so this is rum that is fermented, distilled, matured in Scotland at Burnabenny Distillery. So that is, for me, far more exciting as a first release, doing it in Scottish rum. Now, the style of rum is that similar to your kind of Caribbean style. There's heating on the fermenters to replicate the heat that you get in the Caribbean. I'm close to being banned from saying the word funky. Apparently I say it arguably 10,000 times a day. But it's got a kind of savouriness to it. So it's definitely sweet, but it has a slight savouriness to it, which I think matches really well with the Caol Ila. So that, I think, is going to be our first release. So Ardent Spirits will be bottling a 9-year-old Caol Ila, finished for, I believe, 18 months in a Scottish rum cask. So super, super exciting. That's just a quick video to let you know where we're at. We're hoping to get the whiskey by the end of September into the bottle and on the shelves. We've been chatting to a few distributors. To be honest, I believe it's going to be predominantly online. We are our distillery is at, let me try that again. The distillery Burnabenny is in Banchory. We want to make sure that we're supporting local businesses, so we'll definitely be putting a load into Strong Water Company in Banchory with Guy and Mungo. I'll need to chat to them and see kind of how much stock we're going to put there. Probably a decent amount. They've got a great setup, both their shop itself and their online presence is super, super good in terms of distributing and things like that. So it'll definitely be going in there, maybe looking to get it in the Aberdeen Whisky Shop and things like that. But as soon as I've got all that information and clarified everything, I'll definitely let you guys know. So in these next upcoming videos, I'll be trying the Caol Ila that we're going to be putting out with the PX and things like that, just to give you a very basic idea of what it's going to be. The bottlings themselves are not going to have streams and streams of tasting notes on them. We might put out graphics and things like that, what we might think. Not quite the woven style of things. They are doing things in a really cool, unique way, using imagery to show taste and flavour and things, which is super, super interesting. We're not quite going to go down that route. We're going to give you a few taste notes, but we're maybe not going to take them too seriously. But yeah, just having a bit of a laugh with it. I suppose that if you haven't really heard much about Ardent before, the idea is that, you know, we kind of want whiskey to be, make whiskey fun again, is the mantra that I have in my head whenever I'm thinking about Ardent, bottlings, the whiskey, anything. And we just want to have a bit of a laugh with it. And I hope all of you, when you buy the whiskies, that you'll be encouraged to open them and share them and chat about them. And don't let them gather dust on a shelf. That's absolutely not really what it's there for. Crack them open, have a dram with mates, and have a chat about it. Anyway, that's probably going to be me for just now. I'll be posting hopefully a lot more regularly in terms of just doing some more bloggy stuff, seeing what I'm up to kind of day to day in terms of the Ardent story, and also kind of having drams as I as I pick them up along the way. That Nc'Nean is absolutely beautiful, and would highly recommend picking up a bottle if you can, especially if it's only, you know, just under 50 quid. Super sustainable distillery, unbelievable what they're doing in terms of reducing their carbon footprint to, I believe, close to zero, if not zero. It's just amazing. Really cannot wait to get up to the distillery. I can't stop nosing it. Peaches, oranges, marmalade, just beautiful. Anyway, folks, thanks very much for tuning in, and hopefully you'll be seeing a lot more about Arn very, very shortly. Slán you, bye.